What if the person you trusted the most turned around and threw you under the bus in front of the cops? Flushed face, that's exactly what 50 Cent just exposed about Lil Meech with shocking bodycam footage, and now Big Meech himself is firing back with a warning that could take this drama way beyond the internet. This isn't just beef anymore, it's personal, and it might explode bigger than anyone expected. 50 Cent stirred the pot once again, this time targeting Lil Meech with damning video evidence. The clip allegedly shows Meech shifting blame onto his security guard during a tense situation. According to the guard, he had been asleep when Meech slipped everything into his bag, without his knowledge. In the footage, Meech can be heard trying to distance himself from responsibility, telling officers that he has security guards and insisting the bag wasn't really his. He even suggested the items were left there by someone else. While things appeared to calm down after the incident, the fallout was far from over. Big Meech, the father of Lil Meech, wasted no time firing back at 50 Cent. In a heated message, he warned 50 to stop disrespecting his son, or deal with serious consequences. The tension escalated when 50 publicly released the bodycam footage, portraying Lil Meech as if he'd sacrificed his own friend to protect himself. The real twist came when that very same friend sided with 50. He claimed he landed behind bars because, in his words, Lil Meech snitched on him. What started as internet drama quickly transformed into a real-life standoff. While 50 has taken shots at both father and son for years, Big Meech's sharp warning signaled a turning point. This is no longer playful banter, it's deeply personal, and the situation seems poised to escalate even further. The footage 50 dropped tells the story clearly. During a traffic stop, Lil Meech can be seen directly pointing the blame at his friend. It's a move that not only intensified the feud but also left the hip-hop world buzzing about loyalty, betrayal, and the high stakes of keeping your image untarnished.
It's not illegal.
What is it?
It's not illegal
It's not illegal what?
to have a firearm.
I'm talking about other stuff.
Huh?
Other stuff.
Talking about the other guy?
Other stuff.
Yeah.
That's legal.
The viral clip traces back to a tense arrest that has now taken on a life of its own across social media, hip-hop blogs, and street forums. Both Lil Meech, the rising actor and son of the infamous Black Mafia family kingpin Demetrius Big Meech Flannery, and his longtime friend, known as 3 Luck, were taken into custody during what should have been a routine traffic stop. But instead of fading into just another forgettable run-in with the law, the way Meech handled himself under pressure is what has fans, critics, and industry insiders talking non-stop. For many observers, the footage raises uncomfortable questions about loyalty, character, and the blurred line between survival instincts and street code. According to 3 Luck, the moment the heat got turned up, Meech folded. Instead of standing firm, he cracked. And in doing so, he threw his own man under the bus. This claim has sparked a heated conversation, not only about Lil Meech's choices that night but about the entire culture of how hip-hop figures are expected to move when real-life consequences hit. The bodycam footage itself is almost cinematic in its intensity. You see both men already restrained, handcuffs locking their wrists, as officers move around the vehicle. Meech is in the back seat of a police cruiser, his posture tense, his face carrying that mix of nervousness and disbelief that comes when the gravity of a situation begins to sink in. It's not the bravado of a rap video. It's not the confident energy of Meech's character on BMF. It's raw, unfiltered fear. And then comes the moment that shocked viewers. In a low but clear voice, Meech asks one of the officers, "Did you find the other stuff?" The timing of that question couldn't have been worse. Just seconds earlier, the officer had mentioned spotting a firearm. And here's the detail that makes everything even murkier. The cop had already clarified that the gun wasn't illegal. That alone should have been the end of it. But instead, Meech's question acted like a trigger, almost inviting the officers to dig deeper. It was like throwing gasoline onto a small spark. What might have been a minor incident escalated into something much bigger. Spurred by his words, the officers expanded their search. And sure enough, their digging turned up more items, things that weren't nearly as easy to explain away. That discovery flipped the entire situation on its head. Suddenly, what could have been a forgettable run-in became a serious legal matter. And here's where the story turns painful. When the dust settled, it wasn't Lil Meech who ended up carrying the weight of the charges. It was 3 Luck, the same friend who had been rolling with him, the same guy who says he was asleep when everything went down, suddenly found himself holding the bag, both figuratively and literally. According to him, Meech's words to the cops directly shifted suspicion onto him, sealing his fate before he even had the chance to process what was happening. Now, 3 Luck is breaking his silence. Far from hiding in the shadows, he has gone public with his version of events, calling out what really happened that night and accusing Meech of betraying him in the worst way possible. His argument is simple but cutting. When things got real, Lil Meech didn't protect him, didn't hold his tongue, and didn't stick to the unspoken code that has governed the streets for decades. Instead, he says, Meech pointed the finger, whether intentionally or not, and left him to take the fall. For fans who've watched Lil Meech's rise from being the son of a legendary figure to carving out his own lane as an actor and entertainer, the footage feels jarring. This wasn't supposed to be the narrative. Lil Meech had been positioned as someone carrying forward the BMF legacy while also stepping into the spotlight on his own terms. To see him in this vulnerable, compromised position creates a clash between the myth and the reality. And the impact of this moment goes far beyond just 2 men and 1 arrest. For 3 Luck, the consequences were immediate and devastating. He claims he had to dig deep into his savings to cover multiple bonds and legal fees, a financial hit that drained him while also damaging his reputation. From his perspective, he wasn't just abandoned, he was sacrificed, also Lil Meech could try to slide out from under the weight of responsibility. That sense of betrayal fuels every word of his public statements. He insists that he had been loyal to Meech for years, protecting him, riding for him, and trusting that their bond meant something. But when push came to shove, that loyalty wasn't returned. Instead, he was left in handcuffs, facing charges, while Meech sat silently in the backseat of the cruiser, watching it unfold. And it's that silence, along with the fateful question about the other stuff, that has become the centerpiece of this controversy. Fans are split. Some argue that Meech was just scared, that anyone under pressure might have slipped up. Others, especially those who take the street code seriously, say there's no excuse. In their eyes, asking that question in front of police wasn't just a slip, it was a betrayal, a line that should never have been crossed. Adding fuel to the fire is the fact that 50 Cent, never one to shy away from drama, grabbed onto the footage and amplified it for the world to see. By posting it online, he transformed what could have been a quiet dispute into a full-blown spectacle. Now, instead of just being between 2 former friends, the situation has become a public trial, with hip-hop culture itself as the jury. At its core, this story raises bigger questions about loyalty, fame, and what happens when the pressures of real life collide with the image someone tries to project. Lil Meech, the son of a man whose entire reputation is built on codes of honor and silence, is now accused of violating that very code. And the man making the accusation isn't a random outsider, it's someone who had been in his inner circle for decades. For 3 Luck, this isn't just about charges or court cases, it's about identity and betrayal. He has painted the picture of a man who was supposed to be family but chose self-preservation over loyalty. And whether you agree with him or not, the pain in his voice is undeniable. He talks about years of friendship, about money lost, about time with his child that he can never get back, all gone because, in his eyes, Lil Meech cracked under pressure. As the footage continues to circulate, the debate rages on. Is Lil Meech guilty of betraying his friend, or is this simply a case of panic being misinterpreted? Was the question he asked a deliberate move to shift blame, or just a nervous mistake that spiraled out of control? And perhaps most importantly, what does this mean for his future, not just as an actor, but as the heir to a legacy built on the very values he's now being accused of violating? One thing is certain, the night of that arrest will follow Lil Meech for a long time. Every replay of that bodycam clip, every repost, every comment thread keeps the story alive. And with 3 Luck refusing to back down, insisting that he was betrayed, the conversation isn't going away anytime soon. In the end, this isn't just about a viral video. It's about what happens when image collides with reality, when friendship is tested under fire, and when the choices of a single night ripple out to define reputations, legacies, and entire careers.
Unfortunately, there's certain procedures we have to follow anytime something comes in that's prohibited, correct?
Right. So listen,
You
sir.
understand that, correct?
Can you please give
Do
me
you have your ID on you?
Sir, my ID's in my bag.
In the bag?
Yes, sir, listen, I'm a minor, sir. I have security guards. They left that in my bag, sir. I did not
Okay.
pack my bag.
Well,
I
we
was
can
in
get
the
that all
airport.
straightened out
Please, let's
after
do it.
the fact,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
But until then, I have to put you in handcuffs until we figure this out.
Okay.
Okay, you
Can I call-
understand that?
Can I call my mom or somebody?
We'll do that after.
Okay.
All right?
3 Luck took his frustrations straight to Instagram, posting old photos of him and Lil Meech side by side, back when things looked solid between them. Alongside the throwbacks, he shared the very bodycam footage that 50 Cent had already put on blast. But this time, his message was crystal clear. He believes Meech snitched and left him to shoulder the gun and substance charges alone. "This the reason I had to do Fed time," he wrote, making it clear he feels betrayed. He went off on Lil Meech, saying he can't stomach fake people who play loyal in public but act shady when it really counts. His anger didn't stop there. He even fired shots at Big Meech, accusing him of raising someone who wasn't built for the life he portrays. According to 3 Luck, while Meech was knocked out asleep in the car, he was the one forced to carry the entire weight of the charges. And now, with 50 Cent amplifying his side of the story, 3 Luck says the truth is finally spilling into the open. He didn't mince words either, flat out calling Lil Meech a snake. He claims Meech once admitted guilt privately, even promising to make things right by paying him back. But instead of keeping that promise, 3 Luck says Meech flipped the script and even turned against 50 when nobody was watching.
Else on you at this point?
No, sir, I promise I don't.
Okay.
Actor, sir.
No, I
have to come here
understand.
tonight. Man.
Do you have a
It's gonna
concealed
ruin my
weapons
life.
permit or anything like
No, I
that?
don't, sir. They left that in my bag. My little brother's he was outside waiting for me, sir. I promise, sir, that's not mine.
Okay.
I have security guards, sir. Sir.
Okay.
That's when 3 Luck hit with the question that cut deepest. Why are you asking the cops if they grabbed the guns and the other stuff off me? To him, that wasn't just a slip, it was flat out snitching, no matter how you frame it. He said the only reason he ever kept Meech close was because he believed the young star was solid, built for the life he claimed. I've known my homie for over 20 years, he ranted, his frustration raw. But turns out, he's disloyal too. Then came the challenge. How can anyone stand beside a man who threw me into a dirty situation like that? 3 Luck broke down the real toll it took, dropping stacks on lawyers, covering 3 separate bonds, all from one night gone wrong. Meanwhile, he claims the people surrounding Meech were too focused on protecting the rapper's clean image, shielding him from the consequences, while the one who actually had his back was left in ruins. For him, this isn't just hip-hop drama anymore, it's betrayal at its purest form. He revealed the most painful part. While Meech was zoned out, high on pills, his own life crumbled. Businesses gone. Money drained. And worst of all, he's now facing the reality of missing years of his child's life. All, he says, because Lil Meech pointed the finger at him. He didn't stop there. 3 Luck turned his anger toward the entire family legacy, calling out the contradictions between the image they project and the choices made behind the scenes. For him, this isn't about clout. It's about truth, consequences, and betrayal from someone he thought was a brother.
You can look at my paperwork, man. My paperwork, if I was ratting it to be on CNN, you know what I mean? You better believe it, my nigga. Yeah, it'd be on CNN. You got some people insinuate, oh, Big Meech telling on Mexicans. How? Look on Wikipedia. It'll tell you. Daniel Correll out of L.A., he telling on me. Shit, you know, penitentiary rules is if you do not call a man hot or a rat or a snitch, or that he cooperating with the government without having paperwork to prove it.
3 Luck didn't stop at calling out Lil Meech. He even dragged Big Meech's own legendary phrase, death before Dishona. To him, those words mean nothing now, just another hollow slogan tossed around as casually as people say, I love you without ever backing it up. Meanwhile, Lil Meech has stayed quiet through it all, offering no public response to the storm brewing around him. But of course, one person refused to hold his tongue, 50 Cent. True to form, 50 jumped in swinging hard. First, he shared a screenshot from power star Michael Rainey Jr.'s Instagram, praising him while slipping in a brutal jab. I'm proud of you, Michael. I looked at your page, LOL. See what happens when you don't use drugs and blow all your money on Chrome Hearts jeans. The shade was sharp, a direct hit aimed at Lil Meech without ever saying his name. But that was only the opening round. Just hours later, 50 doubled down, reposting the bodycam footage of Lil Meech sitting nervously in the back of the squad car, alongside screenshots lifted from 3 Luck's Instagram. His caption was ruthless. Yo, how you gonna dump your strap and drugs on your man's lap while he's knocked out? This your ish? LOL. And still, 50 wasn't finished. He came back again, this time with a clip from the BMF show itself, using the fictional world to clown Meech's real-life drama. The caption cut deep, painting the young star as reckless and panicked, the exact opposite of the solid, composed image he tries to project.
And got me before I even knew I could even act at all, before acting was even a thought. My dad called me one day and told me that he wanted me to fly to Atlanta in his presence so I could meet 50 for the first time and see the first casting that he was doing. So I flew out there and it was lined around the street. And the first time I met 50, you know, it was just genuine. And I sat by him and we actually got to watch people audition for a couple hours. And the next day he called me, 8 o'clock in the morning, woke me up.
One thing is certain, 50 Cent isn't letting this one slide. Not even for a second. With real footage floating around of Lil Meech seemingly giving up his own friend, 50 is in his element, turning the scandal into ammunition. And that's how you know this situation just got serious.
That airport jab 50 threw wasn't random either.
It was a direct callback to another embarrassing moment caught on camera. In that incident, TSA found an unloaded gun stashed inside Lil Meech's carry-on bag.
The problem? He didn't even have a license for it. The fallout was a disaster.
When officers confronted him, Meech bizarrely tried to claim he wasn't legally an adult, despite already being 23 at the time. Then, in full panic mode, he pulled out the old celebrity card, asking, "Do you know who I am?" and even name-dropping 50 Cent in a desperate attempt to skate past the charges. Now, with brand new bodycam footage showing him allegedly snitching on his friend, 50 has pure trolling fuel for Instagram. And if there's one thing everyone knows, it's that 50 was built for this. Every shady caption, every repost, every meme-worthy jab. It's like an ongoing series, and he's the star and the director all at once.
Each, like, told on somebody to get out, snitched, did anything extra?
No. Let me tell you why. Big Meech's paperwork is public records. There is no proof that Big Meech said, hey, bust him, bust him, bust him. Now, the situation with the lady Tammy, the female that he cool with or whatever, mess with whatever, I was having an argument with somebody about this last night. Now, if we go by...
But then came the twist. Big Meech himself finally stepped in. Breaking his silence, he fired a warning shot of his own straight back at 50. After 50 shaded him by suggesting he'd failed as a father, Meech responded with a series of photos alongside his son. The caption read, "Nothing can stop us. We all the way up." The message was short, but it spoke volumes. Still, this wasn't just about Instagram posts. Word on the street says Big Meech has been moving carefully behind the scenes. According to industry whispers, he even reached out to one of 50's longtime associates with a chilling message, "Tell him to stop playing with my son, or else."
And anyone who knows Meech knows he isn't the type to bark for clout online.
His reputation has always been about keeping things old school, handling business face to face. The shift in energy is undeniable. Tension is so heavy that a few producers have reportedly started distancing themselves from the BMF series, likely hoping to cool things down before this feud spills beyond entertainment into something far more real.
And the wildest part? This entire clash didn't even start with Lil Meech.
Now, what she did, what would happen, the killers, the homies would be like, well, listen, bro, she your people, she did that with your name on it, so you gotta have her hit. You gotta either have her killed, or you gotta bring a move to her because she implicated your name, or the people got your name, your BMF, whatever, in.
The spark that lit this entire feud didn't even start with Lil Meech. It began earlier this year when Big Meech was spotted linking up with Rick Ross. That sighting alone was enough to send 50 Cent into attack mode. Almost immediately, he accused Big Meech of being the real snitch, posting screenshots of court documents and hinting that Meech's reduced sentence under the First Step Act was the result of cutting a deal. He even dragged Tammy Cowens, a longtime associate of Big Meech, into the mix, suggesting she may have helped grease the wheels by cooperating. It was a savage play, the type of move 50 is notorious for. But here's the twist, those documents don't actually prove Big Meech ever snitched. In reality, he served 27 years of a 30-year sentence, and the time cut came from changes in federal sentencing laws, not from backroom deals. To drive the point home, a rare prison interview recently surfaced, showing Big Meech shutting down the rumors himself. He made it clear, if he had ever cooperated, the headlines would have been everywhere. He doubled down on his code, saying he's standing firm no matter what.
Still, fans are split.
On one side, many argue 50 went too far, labeling a man a snitch after nearly 3 decades behind bars without breaking once. But others say 50 had every right to feel betrayed when Big Meech linked up with Rick Ross. After all, 50 had been the one holding it down for Meech's family while he was locked up, and he's the one who gave Lil Meech his first big acting role in BMF. To some, that Ross connection wasn't just business, it was a slap in the face. But the tension goes deeper than public shade. According to 50, the real issue wasn't music industry politics, it was loyalty being tested behind closed doors. In one Instagram post, 50 claimed jealousy drove a wedge between them. He said Big Meech couldn't stand how close he and Lil Meech had become, even suggesting that Meech cut off financial support for his son because of it. That's when 50 stepped in, not just as a mentor, but as a full-on father figure.
And he didn't stop there.
50 went all in, painting Big Meech as a negative influence on his son, encouraging reckless spending, substance use, and bad habits, while he positioned himself as the one trying to keep Lil Meech grounded. According to 50, things got so bad during the filming of BMF that Lil Meech completely hit rock bottom. I thought about it, 50 wrote. I think he was uncomfortable with me and Meech's relationship. I'm telling Meech to stop doing drugs, and he's telling him how he used to do X.
Like that's cool.
I tell him to chill with spending, and his bragging about how much money he blew. Then came the bombshell. 50 revealed that actor Russell Hornsby once pulled him aside with concerns that Lil Meech showed up to set high, vomited during a weapons test, and even had whippets stashed in his truck. To 50, it was proof that his guidance wasn't just mentorship, it was intervention. Man, I was like, what the hell is this? 50 said, recalling the moment he discovered Lil Meech had whippets stashed in his truck. At first, he thought it was harmless, but after a closer look, he realized it was the same gas used in BB guns. For 50, it was yet another red flag in a long list of concerns. And that's what makes this story sting even more. If you rewind back to Lil Meech's earliest interviews after landing the BMF role, he always gave credit to 50. He admitted he was lost before 50 stepped in, covering his acting lessons, guiding his career, and setting him on a real path forward. But somewhere along the way, Meech fumbled the bag. Hard. Word on the street is that the $5 million he earned from BMF was gone in just 3 years. And instead of investing in businesses, property, or anything that could build long-term wealth, the money allegedly disappeared into cars, designer fits, and heavy jewelry. Whether you love 50 or not, it's tough to ignore that he might have a point after everything he did to flip Meech's life around. Now it looks like everything has spiraled. And when it comes to the snitching drama, the water only gets murkier. People close to Meech are firing back, calling 50 a hypocrite, accusing him of throwing around the rat label only when it suits his agenda. Which leaves the streets asking the big question. Did 50 really expose the truth about Big Meech, or did he just manufacture the snitch narrative because he felt betrayed by that Rick Ross link-up? With Big Meech now warning 50 to stop playing with his son's name, the tension feels heavier than ever. The line between rap beef, family pride, and real-life consequences is blurring fast. So what do you think? Did 50 finally push this one too far, or is he just telling it like it is?